Kentucky, once part of the East Central Commonwealth before the Great War, had been a place of whiskey and thoroughbreds, where the elite came to witness the Great Kentucky Derby, while the factories of Louisville and Lexington turned out armaments for the conflict with China. The horses are long gone, as are the elites and their factories, leaving a broken and blighted landscape behind for the survivors. Now known more as a place you pass through, casting glances at the remains of the old world on your way to somewhere else. Old Kentucky ain't what it used to be. Trader Red hadn't meant to get herself caught in the middle of yet another mess, but here she was, watching over a bunch of folks she neither knew nor really cared to, as her eyes were still cast to those hills far to the south in Tennessee. But the wasteland has a habit of turning any straight line into one damn twisted pretzel, and choices, good or bad, have consequences long down the line. The dust devil had raged through the night, while the Bailey family tried to recover from their recent troubles. Grandpappy Amos and Pa Clayton had done their best to calm down Clayton's wife and the kids, finding them some old preserved food in the back of the Red Rocket filling station that was their shelter from the storm. The twins, Quinn and Riley, were glued to their mother, Darlene, still terrified that the bad men would come back to get them, while their older brother Buck sat next to them, cradling a baseball bat for protection. J.D., the oldest, still nursing a black eye from trying to defend his family, had been put in charge of watching the old surviving raider, Bob, who was now hogtied and gagged behind the counter. As the sky outside began to brighten, the two older men, exhausted, grabbed a couple of old folding chairs and sat down.
You might have been right, Clay. Maybe we should have stayed in Indiana.
And what? Miss all this excitement?
I think your ma would appreciate you still having that damn sense of humor of yours. God rest her soul.
Oh, just glad she ain't around to see all this. And if you can't laugh about it, what else are you gonna do?
She only wanted what was best for you, Clay. Same as me. And this is some mighty fine shit we've gotten ourselves into, and I ain't sure how to get us out of it.
Clayton's smile turned into a frown as he ran his hand through his thinning salt and pepper hair, then looked over at the door where their ostensible savior was still posted, her attention directed through the window pane as the dust began to settle in the rising light of morning. The woman hadn't said much since they'd let her in from the storm, other than to introduce herself simply as Red and make sure they were all okay. After that, she'd gone to check on the raider, retrieving a rope from her backpack and hog-tying the man with an ease that suggested she'd had plenty of practice. Once she was sure the raider wasn't going anywhere, the woman had returned to the door with her rifle and kept watch. Clayton leaned forward and whispered,
And her?
I don't know. She saved our asses, that's for sure, but do I trust her? Well, don't think I trust anyone out here.
So, what do we do?
Pa! The storm's letting up. We can go get our stuff.
The young man's entrance had interrupted the conversation, which was probably just as well, considering that when the pair looked up towards the door, they saw Red was staring at them. They couldn't see under the hood or through the thick goggles she was wearing, but the smile on her face was easy enough to read. She'd heard everything they'd said.
Well, darlings, it sure does look like the skies are rightly cleared and all that dust has departed for parts unknown. Mostly.
Clayton and Amos got up and walked to the door. Red grabbed the door handle and opened it, with a light breeze blowing the fine grains of former Midwestern soil into a swirl that twinkled in the early morning sunlight.
Well, I'll be.
The Kentucky landscape was now covered in what looked like 2 or 3 feet of gray and brown dust and dirt. It clung to the sparse trees and bushes like snow, while drifts as high as 10 feet tall had built up on the sides of the building and further down along the old overpasses and highway exits.
Jeez, I had heard stories, but I never knew it was this bad.
Stepping outside, Clayton and Amos were joined by J.D. and Red while they surveyed the new landscape.
You heard the stories, at least. I ain't seen nothing like this before. Not up in Appalachia, nor back at home neither.
Appalachia? I'd heard that.
Now, hold on to your horses there, mister. I ain't got no time for conversation, and I certainly don't plan on staying around here a second longer than I need to be. I suggest y'all do the same. Probably best y'all head back the way you came before y'all run into some more raiders. And old Red here ain't around to pull your mole rat butts out of the fire.
Red kicked the dust from her boot and headed back inside.
Pa, Grandpap, we gotta go back and get our things. We got nowhere else to go.
Amos, JD ain't wrong, but without help, we're easy pickings out here. I don't know.
Amos wiped his brow and looked back out on the bleak landscape surrounding them. He'd worked in the Evansville factories before the war, managed to save his family when the bombs dropped, only to see his wife pass away soon after in the chaos. He'd done his best since then, but of his 5 children, only Clay had managed to survive to build a family of his own. Truth was, there was no going home. The land had grown increasingly hostile to the meager crops they'd managed to raise, and with their prospects growing ever more dire year after year, they'd made the difficult choice to pack up whatever they could carry and head south. There were rumors and tales of better land, better opportunities down south gathered from the passing caravans. It was a huge risk, but he'd promised his wife that he'd do whatever was necessary for the family.
And now we're out of the frying pan into the goddamn fire.
Those raiders are dead. Well, most of them. We can find their guns, take care of ourselves, like we did back home.
You got spunk, J.D., but a rifle and a couple of pop pistols ain't gonna do much out here in the middle of nowhere.
But what about that woman? Red, right? She took care of those raiders all by herself.
Under the cover of that storm. And she don't seem all that excited about the prospect of helping us out now.
Then we pay her to help us.
With what caps, son?
We use what the raiders took from us. They killed our hired guns, took the caps, so they got to be still on the bodies, right?
JD, look.
Now, hold on a sec, Clay. J.D. might just be onto something.
I am?
Those good-for-nothing guards weren't cheap. And if those caps are still out there, well, maybe we can convince that woman to help us.
I thought you said you didn't trust her.
Maybe I still don't. There is something strange about her, but between her and whatever raiders might still be out there, I'll go with the devil I know. Or at least the one that hasn't tried to kill us yet.
You willing to bet the family on that, Amos?
Before Amos could respond, there was a commotion from inside the Red Rocket. The 3 of them rushed back inside, expecting the worst. Maybe the raider got loose. But instead, they were presented with the most humorous sight.
Darnation! Will you get these youngins off me?
Please don't leave. If you go, the bad men will get us.
This is not happening. Not again.
Riley, Quinn, you get your paws off that nice lady right this second.
Now, just what in the ever-loving fields of Indiana is going on in here?
There, in the middle of the Red Rocket, was Trader Red, currently under assault by the twins, Riley and Quinn. Each one of the children had grabbed a leg and were holding on for dear life, even as Red tried to make sense of what was happening to her.
The twins are right, Ma. We can't let her leave us here all alone.
Darlings, y'all got to believe me. You are going to be just fine. And I got places to be. I ain't no babysitter.
The twins steadfastly refused to budge, and Red now found herself surrounded by the whole family.
I'm sorry there, Miss Red. Those two are more than a handful, as you can see. And they seem to have taken quite a liking to you.
A liking? Darling, these little rascals are stuck on me like a pair of backwoods ticks. Would you do this girl a mighty big favor and please remove these here nuisances so I can be on my way?
No way, no how.
Quinn, you better watch your manners.
Sorry, Ma. I meant, no, we will not.
I guess we got us a real problem here. But hey, it does give us the opportunity to talk. Don't think we ever rightly thanked you for saving our lives.
Y'all just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I did my part, and I just want to get back on my way.
Red wasn't of a mind to hurt the little ones. In fact, she sympathized with them more than they'd ever know. But just because their paths had crossed didn't mean she was obligated to do any more than she already had. Not to mention, the last thing she needed was these nice folks getting a close look at what was under her hood.
All right. Everyone just settle down now. Riley, Quinn, you had your fun. Now go on and let the nice lady go. We adults have some talking to do.
The twin terrors, as they were called by their older siblings, didn't listen to what most people said to them, and that included their parents. But when their grandpappy spoke, they minded him, though perhaps not as swiftly as he'd have preferred.
Oh my. And here I thought death claws were clingy.
Death claws?
Never you mind. If y'all don't know about them, all the better, I guess. Now, see here.
I called off the young'uns. The least you could do is hear us out before you hightail it down the road.
Red did her best to hide her frustration. It was a little easier with the hood and goggles, but Amos didn't fall off the razor grain truck yesterday.
We owe you our lives, Miss Red.
It's just Red. And you don't owe me nothing. I just happened along. Lucky for you.
It was lucky. Don't even want to think what would have happened.
Nothing good.
Hush, J.D. But we're in one heck of a pickle here, Red. The guards we hired to take us south are dead, and everything we had is back up that road a ways.
Sounds like nothing but problems, darling.
We paid a lot of caps for those guards.
And those caps are still out there, either with the bodies or those raiders you killed. Now, we don't know where they are, but you do, don't you?
It was impossible for the others to tell what Red was thinking, but damn if they weren't right. Red looked around the room, first at the children, then their mother, then to the young man, his father, and finally to the old man.
Darling, I know a proposition when I hear one. So, why don't y'all just get to the point?
We want to hire you.
To hire me.
Just get us to Tennessee in one piece. There's a trading post outside of a place called Oneida.
I heard of it.
An old friend of the family works down there. He's got transportation lined up to get us the rest of the way. We just need someone who can get us there, safe and sound.
You can have all of the caps we promised those others. I mean, they won't be needing them anymore.
Y'all are right that I do have a pretty good idea where I left those raiders. I could just go out there on my own.
You would, wouldn't you? Figured you might have been one of the good ones. But you're just gonna leave us, aren't you?
The words were barely out of JD's mouth before Red was in the young man's face. She might have been nearly a foot shorter, but she put off the energy of a giant.
Darling, y'all better pick your next words extra careful like. 'Cause y'all have no idea just who you're talking to.
Before things escalated, Clayton came to his son's rescue.
Whoa there. JD's just a bit rambunctious is all. We'd never think to impose if we had a choice in the matter. Just gonna ask, will you help us?
Red looked at JD one more time, then took a deep breath, unballing her fist. The last thing she wanted was another damn detour, but Red was one of the good ones, or hoped she was most of the time.
Darlings, I guess you're right. And if y'all are gonna pay little old me, then like my pa used to say, we got ourselves a deal.
That's great.
But I got my own conditions.
What conditions?
I'm in charge, darlings. What I say goes. You go where I tell you, and you do what I tell you. No questions asked. You want to make it to Tennessee? You do as I say when I say it. Got it?
JD was about to say something, but Clayton put his hand on the boy's shoulder before speaking.
It's your show, Red.
Good. First good decision y'all made today. Well, be ashamed to waste the daylight. Get your things and we'll mosey up the road a bit and collect those caps. And your things.
What about him?
JD pointed at the hog-tied raider. He was awake and watching them like a hawk.
I'll take care of him. Be ready to leave as soon as I get back.
The others weren't going to argue, especially when Red walked over and grabbed the raider by the jacket and pulled him out the front door. She could hear his muffled protests under the gag, begging for his life.
Darling, it's been one strange day. And trust me, I've had the strangest. Things you wouldn't even believe. And I've seen my share of death, too. Any other day, I'd rip your throat out and leave you for the ferals.
Raider Bob blinked away the dust from his eyes and looked up at Red.
See, I ain't gonna kill ya. Hell, there's plenty out here that'll do it for me. So, I'm gonna give you a fair chance to get yourself on the right side of the wasteland.
Red leaned down and extended her sharpened nails, slicing through the rope, then took a step back as Bob rose unsteadily to his feet, trying to work out his cramped muscles. He turned to Red and came face to face with old Percy.
Get the hell out of here, and don't even think of coming within a mile of us, 'cause I have your scent. I catch even a whiff.
Red smiled, her elongated canines glinting in the late morning sunlight.
And this will be the last thing you ever do see, darling.
The sight of those teeth in her hands was enough to turn Bob white. He pulled the gag from his mouth and didn't say a word, just turned east and started running like hell. Red kept watch until he disappeared from sight, then slung the rifle over her shoulder and turned back to the red rocket.
Got enough killing in front of me. Why the hell did you say yes, Red? I suppose because it might be the last chance you ever get to do something good.
Red took the opportunity to reach under her hood and scratch her scalp and horns. They got damn itchy after a while, but she sure as heck wasn't going to let those nice folks see her extras. True to their word, the Bailey family was gathered outside the Red Rocket. Amos, Clayton, and JD were waiting together, while Darlene, Buck, and the twins were behind them.
Hope y'all got your walking shoes on, 'cause it's time we skedaddle. We find whatever we can and we get back on the road south, darlings. Now, y'all know the score. You listen to old Red here. When I say jump, you jump. Got it?
We understand, Red. It's your show. JD, you had something you wanted to say, right?
The young man looked embarrassed, like he had just gotten a scolding, which, by all appearances, he had. He took a step forward.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Red. I didn't mean...
Jeez, apology accepted, darling. Just don't go looking no gift horse in the mouth. Like my crazy Uncle Remus used to say, follow me and stay close, because the road ain't getting any shorter.
Red turned and started walking up the remains of the old road, keeping a sharp eye out over the dust dunes and wasted terrain. The Baileys followed behind, their feelings a mix of hope and dread. As the ruined filling station vanished behind them and Red led them to where the raiders were half buried in the dust, it was only the beginning of what would prove to be a long and treacherous journey.
Ever get so lost in your favorite game that the day slips by unnoticed? Do you need audio dramas and gaming pods to get you through the day till you can jump back in game? You're not alone. I'm inviting you to join me as we dive into a world of immersive lore and gameplay on my shows The Fallout Feed, Starfield Lorecast, and Dames Who Game, plus all the shows we do on the ASA Podcasting Network. On the Fallout Feed, we celebrate the world of Fallout and occasionally other RPGs, where rad roaches are far from the only bugs you'll encounter, and there's always a new way to tackle a quest. For Starfield fans, join me on the Lorecast. And on Dames Who Game, join me and my girls as we mix games, nerdy media, makeup, and our latest obsessions. With these and other shows at ASA Podcasting, we believe the best way to experience a game is to dive deep. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, you name it. ASA Podcasting, your next adventure starts here.
Move your asses, or we have to tan your hide again.
Damn, they never learn, do they?
Nah, these still got some fight left in them. A few might even be good for bits, but the rest, they'll make a fine stew or get sent to the Shine Works.
About time we got some fresh meat. Lost 50 caps last time to some old Alabama scabs. Couldn't fight with a damn.
This is right. We gotta expand if we're to stay on top.
That reminds me. Zeke's been asking about the harvest. Don't think he's too happy.
Fuck. He still knows we got a few weeks left before the scouts come back, right?
Of course he knows.
Oh, but he wants to hear it from me.
It's your quota, and your head on the block, and you know it.
Fuck me. Alright, damn it! We'll take this group to the pens. The boys are getting hungry, so pick out a few for the chow line.
You got it. Those two again are pretty damn tasty.
Just save some for the rest of us, got it?
If the boss don't squeeze your head off, that is.
Aha! Very fucking funny, asshole.
Ah, that last one sounded just right. Nothing gets the blood pumping like breaking a femur or two. Get them to the platform. It's time to ring the bell. I really do hate it when they whimper like that. Hand me my mallet. No, the big one. No, the other big one. Yeah, that's the ticket.
No, please.
I still got it. All the way to the top. Again.
Nice job, Zeke. You got brains all the way over to the other side of the tent.
Bet your ass I did. Nobody does it better than me. Though back in my day it was watermelon. Skulls just make a better mess. Tastier too.
Yeah, the best.
You wanted to see me?
Yeah, I did. I ain't too happy about the way the harvest been coming in this year. Too many scrawny ones, with barely any meat left on the bones, or too sick to eat.
Doing the best we can, Zeke. Maybe slim pickings around here, but I send word to the gangs up north. Got a line of some flesh markets in Kentucky, and have them hitting stray caravans. If it all pans out, we should have plenty to go around. Expand the shine works, fighters for the pits, and more than enough to keep our bellies full.
That's what I always liked about you. Ever the optimist. The boss got plans. Big plans. But what we need right now is bodies. Lots of bodies. I don't care where they come from or where you get them. Don't even care if you know those shirts over in Knoxville.
I'll do whatever you need. Always have.
That's what I wanted to hear. Because if you fuck this up, I'll break you in half and eat you myself. You got that?
I got it, Zeke. You got nothing to worry about. I got scouts on the roads heading back as we speak. Hell, I'll go meet them and bring back the good news myself.
Good. Good. Now somebody get your ass over here with more of that shine and clean my mallet. On second thought, take it over to the cook. Looks like some right tender bits still left over. Might make a fine stew. Good. Now get your ass out there and get me my harvest.
Once upon a time, 27 years after the bombs fell, there were two people, a vault dweller and a California girl. They met and sparks flew. That's when things got interesting. Once Upon a Wasteland is their story. Follow Elizabeth Kirby and Odessa Valdez as they pursue their happily ever after in the post-apocalyptic Appalachian wasteland of Fallout 76. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other podcasting platforms. Once Upon a Wasteland, a Fallout 76 love story. Available now.
Thank you all for joining us here for our latest episode of The Ballad of Trader Red. You can learn more about our story, both the original Modus Files tale of the fate of Appalachia and The Ballad of Trader Red, on our website, themodusfiles.com, or follow us on our various social media platforms, including Blue Sky and Instagram, @ModusFiles and @ModusFilesPodcast, or join our Discord. A link is included on our website. If you'd like to support us directly, you can also join our Patreon, where members receive special benefits like early access to episodes, special behind-the-scenes interactions with our cast, and read original drafts of our scripts. We'd also like to thank our cast: Chrissy Williams as Trader Red, Ricky Torres as Reaver Number 1, Zachary Glasser as Reaver Number 2, Patrick Conway as Ezekiel, Lydia Atherton as Riley, Griffin Williams as Quinn, Alicia Oliver as Darlene, Henry McNamara as Buck, Joel Butler as Amos, Jeremy Tucker as Clayton, Preston Harden as JD, and Pandora Beatrix as our narrator. Lastly, thank you to all of our subscribers and supporters. It's a wild wasteland out there, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned for our next episode of The Ballad of Trader Red.